This is David, a fellow farmer who is a pro in harvesting delicious fruits and vegetables. But his life is not so fruitful despite feeding the people. The cause is obvious. No sale, no gain. One day, Mr. John, a supermarket manager, made an offer David couldn't refuse. The supermarket will buy the products from David for a price and they will sell in the right market. David is super excited to seal the deal. What John did there, he helped David in managing his resources, finding the best market and people, right? This is what an operating system does. An operating system is a system software that manages computer hardware, software resources, and provides common services for computer programs. It finds resources in computer and allocates them to the users based on the demand. Let's see what is inside an operating system. Kernel is the man behind the scene, the heart of an operating system. It acts as a mediator between the user and the hardware. It contains several independent modules responsible for what they do. The kernel has three major responsibilities. Memory management handles primary memory, moves processes back and forth between main memory and disk during execution. It checks how much memory is to be allocated to the process. It decides which process will get memory and at what time. Process management. Of course, it is the job of an operating system to manage all running processes of the system. It handles operations by performing tasks like process scheduling and resource allocation. Device management is another important function of the operating system. Device management is responsible for managing all the hardware devices of the computer system. It may also include the management of the storage device, as well as the management of all the input and output devices of the computer system. It is the responsibility of the operating system to keep track of the status of all the devices in the computer system. Let's take an example. This is me writing a poem in Microsoft Word document. To write the document, I need the input from keyboard. System software will make a call to the device driver module in kernel of the operating system to provision the service of keyboard. This request is called system call. A system call is the programmatic way in which a computer program requests a service from the kernel of the operating system. Then, the operating system allocates the keyboard for the application and I start writing my first poem. Once I complete it, I want to save the document into a permanent storage, which is my hard disk drive. Again, my application will create a system call to file system module in kernel to allocate some space in hard disk drive to store my data. Likewise, more complicated tasks such as multitasking and multiprocessing can be achieved with the help of an operating system. Kernel is the key component of an operating system, which loads when the system boots and it runs until the power is off. I've been talking about kernel and I haven't introduced one yet. Let's unleash the beast. Though there are many kernels out there, we will focus on a popular one, Linux. Linux is a kernel distributed under an open source license which gives the freedom to run, study, and distribute. In simple words, if you have the passion to derive your own operating system, go ahead and clone the Linux kernel from kernel.org and start developing. Good luck! You may find many distributions, also known as distros, of Linux like Android, Tizen, Ubuntu, CentOS, and others. Linux can be considered both as an operating system and as a kernel. Linux powers majority of the systems, from the powerful SpaceX Falcon to the elegant smartwatches. Next time when you see a system, don't forget to ask, which operating system is powering it? In a nutshell, operating systems are the managers who help the hardware in selling their resources to the right users. Now we have an operating system to manage the computer resources. But how do we manage the operating system? Well, that's for another episode. Thanks for watching!